What's going on, everybody? It's January 12th, 2017, and it's my first video of the new year, and I know it's been forever since I've done a video, but December gets pretty busy. I've got my son's birthday, my wife's birthday, Christmas, and then you got New Year's, and then my other son's birthday is coming up here tomorrow, actually, so it's a busy time for me. It's an expensive time for me, so that's kind of what's been going on. So I apologize I haven't been around, but I just want to take this time. I know it's late, but just want to say to everybody out there that I hope you guys all had a good Christmas, a good New Year's. Got to spend some quality time with your family and friends. Hopefully you got some time off. Me, I didn't really take that much time off. I worked Christmas Eve, got home in the afternoon, took off Christmas Day, and I rolled out after that. So I'm just trying to, December was a bad month, and I'm just trying to make up some money. So but we're doing okay now. We've had a couple good weeks in a row, so we're getting back to where we need to be. But with that being said, so let's talk about this IC program. And if you remember back, I did a review video at the 6-week mark. So let's fast forward from 6 weeks to 6 months. And has my opinion changed? Do I regret coming over here? Do I still like it here? Do I recommend people still come here and do this? Absolutely. This is the best decision I could have ever made to come over here to do this. And I wish I would have done it sooner when I was looking into it rather than waited and tortured myself for another year. And if you're really interested in coming over here to do this, I recommend that you give Schneider IC Recruiting a call. In fact, I'll put their number in the description box of the video. Give them a call, see if they're hiring in your area, and you can talk to them in depth about questions that you might have. And really, I got to tell you, I've been out here for almost 9 years, and I haven't been nearly as happy as I have that whole time as I have been in the last almost 7 months, because it's just, I'm in control of everything. I do what I want. I run my truck my way. It's my business. I handle everything. And that's what I like about it. Now, granted, it is stressful. I'm not going to lie to you. You have a whole new set of stresses that you give up as a company guy. Now you're responsible for the truck maintenance and your taxes and dealing with other things and booking your own freight and making sure you can do loads and time management, all this other stuff. But I wouldn't trade it for the world. And the other thing, too, is I've been associated with several companies since I've been out here driving. And I got to tell you, man, nobody treats me as well as Schneider National does. I'm a good fit for them. They're a good fit for me. And just a couple notes about the company. It's like I said, they treat you with respect. They treat you like a person. They don't talk down to you. They don't belittle you. And that's going from everybody up there in the mothership up there in Green Bay down to my ICA team, which ICA stands for Independent Contractor Advisor. And I get treated excellent by them. They've gone above and beyond to help me with certain things. And now, I will tell you the truth. I've heard stories from other ICs about their independent contractor advisor team, that they're horrible and they can't get them on the phone and they don't want to help them and they don't even want to call in. That stuff may happen. I'm not going to say that it doesn't, but all I can tell you is the 3 people that I deal with are phenomenal, and I've told them that, and I couldn't ask for a better group of people. It's funny because when I meet other ICs, I ask them who their ICA is, and they'll tell me, and I've heard, and it's usually people that I've heard horror stories about. When they ask me mine, they're like, oh, I never heard of that person. And I actually told mine that, and they said, well, that's a good thing then. If they've never heard of me, that's a good thing. So, I don't know. I can't speak for every single advisory team out there. All I can tell you is mine is phenomenal. So, like I said, everybody from Green Bay to Charlotte, which is my home terminal, the people I deal with there, all the way down to the shops, man. I've had trailer issues. Even little things with my truck. You take it in there, they're friendly to you. They help you out. They get you rolling as quickly as they can. And nobody treats you like you're just a number. They really don't. So Schneider's a good company, man. Even if you're interested in coming here as a company driver, I would say give it a shot. They really, they practice what they preach. Safety, integrity, respect. It's not just BS, man. They practice what they preach. So, like I said, I'll put the number for IC Recruiting in the description box. So give them a call, see if they're hiring in your area. And one of the cool things is that Schneider actually keeps a cap on their number of owner-operators. So when they hire, they're hiring to replace guys that have left for whatever reason, or maybe retired, or guys that had their lease canceled for whatever reason. So they don't just keep bringing people in. They try to do that keeps they keep a handle on the load board so it doesn't get overpopulated, which in turn helps you to make money. So they do it the right way, man. So much so that there's other companies out there who are trying to emulate what Schneider's doing here. I know Interstate's doing it with their Freedom Board. It's based off of Schneider's model. And I know for a fact that there's one company out there that's looking into doing something like this. And I know there's another company out there that tried it and failed. So, but Schneider's been doing this for a while now, and it's a great program, man. I can't say anything bad about the program at all. At least to this point, I really can't. And it's idiot-proof. It really is. I mean, everything's on you. And the freight is there. The load board, even in the slow times, which is, right now, freight is slow. You may not get the great loads that you want, but there's always loads to keep you moving. There's always something to haul. And that's the great thing about Schneider, because it's contract freight. So you're not dealing with brokers and agents and trying to solicit freight, none of that. The load board is very simple. You look at it, you find a load you like, you hit the assign button, 30 seconds later it's sent to your truck and that load's yours. It's very simple. So, like I said, man, I don't have anything bad to say. I really don't. Now, with that being said, let's talk about what everybody wants to know about, and that's money. Now, I'm going to say two things about that before I get started into that topic. First off, I'm not going to disclose my personal numbers because, to me, it's nobody's business what my numbers are. Now, I know there's other guys out there saying what they make, and they're showing it and all sorts, and that's cool. I don't have a problem with that. That's them. They can do whatever they want to do. I don't choose to do that because, I don't know, I'm just private that way. It's nobody's business what I'm making. So, if you have any questions or anything like that, you can always feel free to email me, and I'll try to answer them as best I can for you as far as, numbers and all that stuff. But I'm not putting it out there for public consumption. And the second thing I want to say before I start into the money thing is, there's another YouTuber out here. His name's Dre, and his channel name's EMIP TV. I'm going to put his link in the description box too. Now, he did a 4-month review video, and it was a pretty good video. I actually enjoyed it a lot. And I asked him if it was cool if I kind of piggybacked off of some of the things that he talked about in that video, because I'm going to give you kind of my take on what he talked about. And he brought up some interesting things that I'm going to kind of elaborate on a little bit. So, Dre, I appreciate you letting me piggyback your video there. So check out Dre's channel. It's EMIP TV. He's another Schneider IC. He's been here like 2 months less than me, I think. So go check him out. He seems like he's a pretty cool dude. So, making money. That's what everybody wants to know about. Well, here's the deal. Dre talks about how it's hard to make money here. It's hard to constantly string the right loads together and make a killing week after week after week. Now, there's a lot of things that go into making money here. And that's first off where Schneider Finance comes into play. If you're a first-time owner-operator like me and like a lot of the other guys that come over here, Schneider Finance is a great way to get your foot in the door. And it allows you to get into a truck, get over here, experience being an owner-operator, see what it's like, see the kind of money that can be made with pretty much no risk. So, in that regard, Schneider Finance, I don't have anything bad to say about them either. But, here's where Schneider Finance affects your bottom line. If you're going to come over here and you're going to get a Schneider Finance truck, if you're going to get a brand new truck, you're going to have a big payment. If you get a used truck, you'll have a high payment. Now, if you get a truck that's a couple years old, your payment will be lower. And obviously, the lower the payment, the more manageable the situation. So, a lot of what your bottom line will be here depends on your truck. So if you're going through Schneider Finance, that's a big variable as far as making money here. The second thing is, it's all situational, meaning it depends on your home situation. If you're somebody like me, who is the breadwinner and the sole provider, and you've got that big payment, and you've got to pay all the household bills and everything else, it's going to be hard. I'm not going to lie to you. It's going to be hard. It's like I said a little bit ago, December was a horrible month for me. Horrible. And I'm paying for it now. I'm struggling. Because part of it was I went home a lot more than I should have for birthdays and things like that. But that was my choice. And the other half of it was I had issues with the truck. Now, when you have a Schneider Finance truck and you have a lot of downtime, you got to make that payment. Something's got to give somewhere. Now, so in my situation, when I lose time, I'm losing money and it's hurting me because I'm the only one working. If you have that big payment, and let's say you've got a spouse that works and you've got another full-time income to rely on, it's going to be easier for you. Or if you're single and you got that big payment and you don't have a car, you don't have a house payment and all this other stuff, it's going to be no big deal for you. So the truck is going to be pretty much your biggest expense, and it's going to have a direct impact on your ability to make a lot of money. I'm telling you that from my experience. The guys that I've met out here that make the most amount of money have the lowest overhead, meaning they've got another full-time income at home, or their truck might be paid for. If you have no truck payment, sky's the limit. If you got a low truck payment, sky's the limit. So all that stuff is situational. Now, the load board itself, there is never a lack of freight on that load board. Never. There's always something to haul. When it gets slow, it may not be the loads you want, but there's always something to keep you moving. And that's where knowing your cost per mile really factors in, because you've got to know at least what you need to make to cover your expenses. So you may not be going out for steak dinners for a month or two, but you'll be able to pay your bills and pay for your truck. So, you know, there's always going to be freight there. Now, when you come over here, you're going to struggle in the beginning because of the learning curve. You've got to learn the load board. And you hear other guys say this, and I'm going to tell you the same exact thing. And that's kind of leads me into what Dre was talking about with finding the right loads and constantly be able to string them together. You got to study that load board. You got to start to realize which loads come out of where. You've got to be flexible to run more than one area. If you think you're going to come over here and make $5,000 every single week, do one load a day, go out and back, go home every day and make that kind of money, don't waste your time. I can tell you right now, it's not going to happen. You need to be flexible, and you have to have multiple lanes that you like to run. So if one lane dries up, you bounce down to another one and you run that lane for a while. So it's all about, you have to be diligent, willing to put the time in, willing to put the work in. You have to be patient. I know it's hard because you want to come over here and you want to start making money right off the bat. But I can tell you, there is money to be made here if you're willing to work. But again, you've got to make up front, when you start, you've got to make the decisions that you feel are going to be the best. I opted for a brand new truck thinking, okay, I'm a first timer. I want minimal truck problems. Well, if I get the brand new truck, I can probably eliminate a lot of the hassles of a used truck. And that's not the case. I've had nothing but problems with this truck since about 6 weeks in. And one of the good things is the truck's under warranty. And it's another good point about Schneider Finance. If you guys remember, I did that video about my tires wearing out. That didn't cost me a dime. And Schneider Finance went to bat with Freightliner to help me with that, and Freightliner put tires on the truck. Didn't cost me nothing. So that's why I say with Schneider Finance, it's kind of low risk. So all that stuff that I just kind of talked about, and I know it was a lot, all that stuff rolls together and affects your bottom line. In the beginning, you're going to go through that learning curve. And I'm to the point now where I'm just starting to feel comfortable with the load board, knowing if I go to this area, I can get that load out. Ooh, if I'm going to go over here, this load usually hits the load board around Wednesdays, usually confirms around Thursdays. So you know what to look for, and that's the key. Once you start learning that kind of stuff, it makes it easier and the money will come. You just have to be patient, but you got to put the work in to studying that load board, and you got to make good business decisions. If you have a $2,000 paycheck, don't think, woohoo, big payday, party time, and go out and blow half your money. Save that money for if you have a bad week. Remember, it's not, you're running a business now. You're not a company guy anymore. Which kind of leads me into the second part of that, where Dre talked a little bit about how it's kind of company driver money. And you're not going to set the world on fire every single week. You may get lucky and have 3, 4, 5 good weeks in a row, and then you may take a dive and just slide for the next 3 weeks. But it's all about the average of what you need to do. But here's a scenario that I kind of like to present, because I was thinking about this. So let's say that you know there's a big misconception too that if you're making $800 a week as a company driver, and if you don't at least double that or more when you come over to the IC side or the owner-operator side, that it's bullshit and you're not making any money and it's just wrong. Well, think of it like this. You make $800 every week as a company driver, we'll say. And they tell you, okay, you're going to go out for 3 weeks. You're going to go where we tell you. You're probably going to go to a bunch of places you don't like. You're going to deal with crap you don't want to deal with. And you're not going to see the house until it's time to go home. And hopefully you get home when you're supposed to, maybe 2-3 days after that. All that for $800 a week. And then you come over here, you still make $800 a week. You run, you leave the house when you want, you pick the freight you want, you run the lanes you want, you make what you need to make to cover your truck, your fuel, all your insurances, all your home expenses, everything's paid for, and you still make $800 a week. And in that same 3-week period, you got home 5 times. Maybe you came home for a 34. You passed through the house a couple of times for some 10-hour breaks. You went where you want. You did things your way and did what you wanted to do for the same amount of money, and you got all your bills paid. So I ask you, you say, you know, it's company driver money. You look at it like, okay, is it company driver money? Well, if you want to call it that because you made that as a company driver and you made that as an independent contractor, but you did it on your own terms and you were living off that before. So if you make that over here as an owner operator, you got everything paid and you still made the same amount of money, but you did it on your terms. I think that's a victory. In fact, I was talking to my buddy Jeffrey Like about that the other day, because I get a lot of people that email me about that. And there's this big misconception and this big stigma out here on social media that you've got to make numbers with commas in it every single week to consider it successful, or it's not worth it. I don't see it that way. And hopefully what I just said kind of opened up your eyes a little bit and made you think, because if I'm going to be treated like shit and make $800, or I'm going to do things my way, do what I want, go where I want, run my truck how I want, and make the same amount of money and still get all my expenses and bills and everything paid, to me, okay, I'd take that any day. So I can tell you, though, I've had more $1,000 plus paychecks in the almost 7 months that I've been here than I've ever had as a company driver. So I know I threw a lot out there, and it's kind of a lot to take in, and I appreciate you if you watch this video all the way through. I know it's long, But I'm just trying to put some points out there to get you guys to think about some stuff. And Dre, I'm not trying to single you out or degrade your opinions or anything like that, because I think your video was awesome. And I just kind of wanted to touch on, kind of expand on some of the things that you said. So that's about it, man, because this video is 20 minutes, so I'm going to cut it off here. But if you guys have any questions, feel free to email me at helpwithtrucking@hotmail.com. Leave a comment. I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. It's still a little bit busy. Hopefully things will be slowing down here soon. I'm going to put the number for Schneider IC Recruiting in the description box. Check out Dre's channel, EMIP TV, and he's got some cool stuff going on over there. So I've got some good ideas for some upcoming videos. Just have to get back on track and get the time to do them. So with that being said, again, I hope everybody had a good holiday season. Hope everybody's back to work, doing good. And I guess that's about it. So until next time, everybody be good, be smart, be safe. We'll see you down the road. Later on.